Damn, I just woke up.
Well, we can tell you look like shit, so, I mean, we understand.
Well, yeah, but I mean, seriously, you guys said that I wasn't here last week and, tired and stuff. I just woke up.
It's part of your gimmick now.
What I miss?
A few things. We only named our pandemic era MVPs, and we only talked about the WrestleMania match that we'd love to be at the announce desk for, even though Isaac took about 97% of the matches, left me with the scrap.
Yeah. Well, look at it this way. You're also, you have a better chance of being at the desk than Adnan Burke does. Welcome to Wrestling with Egos. Sorry, Brian. Gotta do it. I'm back in the saddle again. I'm Patrick, joined as I am each and every week by my boys, Big Isaac and Brian. What's good, men? What?
Don't start that.
All right.
What?
Don't.
All right. Time.
We're done with it.
We're no more what chance. It was one of the most annoying things ever in wrestling. That'll actually be a discussion later on down the line. The most annoying things that were completely over. And that's number one with a bullet. We got a lot to talk about and some big news. It's not official, but there are rumor and innuendo that this is the last time you will see a 3-person split screen here on Wrestling with Egos, because next week it is rumored. Rumor has it that next week marks the return of one Reginald Johnson Eisenman Esquire.
We've been waiting
Long
for
time coming.
Now, that being said, one would ask ourselves, okay, what are we going to do about Isaac? We kicking his ass to the curb, or are we going to keep him around? We're going to keep him around.
Isaac has done nothing to warrant asses getting kicked to the curb. Isaac has brought a very unique perspective to this team, and we thank him for that. And he ain't going nowhere.
No.
Forgive the double negative.
I think it was unofficially decided weeks ago, but yeah, officially Isaac is part of the crew.
FedEx be taking forever to deliver the signed contract back to us, but it's done.
Yeah, well,
ink is dry.
Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm in.
He lacquered his first paycheck and put it on the wall, and
yeah, man. All right,
okay, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, let's go ahead and get down to it. We got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. We are going to preview AEW's Double or Nothing coming up this weekend. Damn, what a card. It's going to be great. But before we do that, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, click the bell for the notifications, hit us up on our Twitters. You guys have already seen those. The Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestling with egos. The archive, you guys have seen all that stuff. Leave comments below. You know the drill. Gentlemen, I want to take you back a little bit, a little bit of history lesson today, gentlemen. Did you know that this week marks the 25th anniversary of one of the most important moments in the history of professional wrestling? Scott Hall showing up on Monday Nitro. I always talk about those important, push pin moments in the grand timeline of wrestling. This would be one of those moments, boys and girls, because, without this, wrestling as we know it doesn't exist. Without Scott Hall, we're probably not doing this show because no one gives a rat's ass about wrestling to the extent that they do now. We'll still give a damn, but, it won't be as big of a deal as it is. So, Brian, I know you won't be able to answer this the way Isaac and I can because you were not watching wrestling at this moment. Isaac.
That is correct.
25 years ago this week. Talk to me. What was going through your mind, coming out of your mouth, and what were you and your friends saying the next day?
25 years ago, which is crazy for me to even think about. He shows up. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what is he doing? He comes out and he says, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. And you're sitting here like, what the hell is going on? You know? And then you start thinking, as we all have in the past and things that have happened, it's an invasion. He looked like he was doing the Razor Ramon character. Was it something that we expected? No. Did it have the ripple effect through wrestling at all? Oh my God, yes. A couple weeks later, Kevin Nash shows up, and we're like, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, yo, we got a third partner. He's gonna be here. And we're thinking, who the hell could it be? And the biggest curveball at the time, and quite possibly in wrestling history.
Whoa. At the time, no. Biggest curveball in history. Nobody saw that coming.
Exactly. No one was hitting that one. You're sitting there like, Hogan is with, and you're like, oh my God. And then you saw the only thing that happened with Hogan and everyone just getting doused with everything on the planet, and you are starting to hate him.
All right, well, let's instead of the history lesson and what all happened after that, as you're watching it, and as you're watching that episode of Nitro, and by the way, after you're done watching this, go listen to Eric Bischoff's 83 Weeks podcast, because this week him and Conrad talk about this and Bischoff's point of view about this particular night, because it was a brilliant podcast, because they did a watch along with Raw first, then Nitro. That way you can see the juxtaposition of what both shows were like before everything changed. Keep in mind, this was also the Monday night this happened. WWF at the time was coming off of the heels of that In Your House Beware of Dog pay-per-view where the Transformer blew.
Oh God, I do remember that.
Something else even crazier. On Raw Monday night, Ted DiBiase, who was managing the Ringmaster at the time, and Steve Austin had just lost that Caribbean strap match in the dark to Savio Vega. They went ahead and ran that back for that free giveaway pay-per-view, whatever thing, the makeup that they did on Tuesday. And DiBiase doubled down and said, if Austin doesn't win, I'm going to leave the WWF. And the reason being, he gave his notice Monday morning. Because he was going to WCW.
Making moves all over the place.
Exactly. But it was hilarious, listening to that, thinking, okay, we're literally, WWF, we're still looking at freaking Doink. We're looking at, the Ringmaster. Ahmed Johnson was trying to beat the shit out of Goldust because Goldust gave him mouth to mouth. This is where we're at in WWF. And then you flip over, and by the way, do you know what happened the next week on Nitro in terms of the ratings?
I'm guessing they went up.
They kicked the crap out of WWE. And would you like to know what they did? What they did after that? They kicked the crap out of WWE for 82 more weeks straight. This was literally the last time until that streak ended that Raw beat Nitro in the ratings.
I mean, my wrestling consumption happened as I got a lot. I watched this stuff as it was happening live. I had the ability to watch comparisons and watch, people, let's do pros and cons and everything like that. And we've said it before on this show. It's been said many times that Raw was Saturday morning cartoons, basically.
Yeah.
That's their target demographic. They wanted the little kids. They wanted to push that merch. Everybody had a job, a job-based gimmick, and stuff like that. And there was really nothing. I'm struggling to think even. I have to go back to like SummerSlam 92 with Bulldog and Bret Hart to find a match from that time period that would still hold up today.
There's a few. I mean,
and there's a few, but that's another topic for another time. But the notion of, I'm sure in the territory era, things like this happened, but you did not have a national TV audience consuming.
Right.
I'm sure that Pat Patterson, for example, left one territory, went to the next.
Well, but at the same time, though, a lot of those territories shared talent.
Right. It was arranged.
Right. The Von Erichs would go to Memphis every once in a while and work Memphis. Now, keep in mind, this is before Jerry Jarrett bought World Class, when it was still Fritz running World Class over in Dallas. But, the Von Erichs went places. The Freebirds went places. Flair went places. Well, Flair went places because he was the NWA.
Flair went everywhere, though. You all know Flair went everywhere. Yeah,
Flair went everywhere because he had the belt. But
the difference now is you've got a national television audience that's starting their appetite is being ramped up for this kind of stuff.
Right.
And the notion of a guy who a week earlier you knew as Razor Ramon coming down in street clothes. Yeah, he still had the toothpick in his mouth, but he's coming down in street clothes. Give me a microphone. And with not a whole lot of words, as I recall, lit the powder keg. I think he didn't say much more besides, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. And that was it. And he left.
Where's Billionaire Ted? Where's the nut man?
Where's Scheme Gene?
Scheme Gene, yeah. You want a war? You got a war. That whole deal. Because sorry, I keep referencing the 83 Weeks podcast, but Bischoff had mentioned he wrote that promo himself for Scott Hall. He wrote it himself, and he wrote it ambiguously enough to where it would sound like Razor Ramon was coming over to talk crap to the WCW guys about, you're insulting us. You started this. We're going to finish it. But we obviously we know what he meant by we're going to finish it. But wrestling fans in 1996 did not think that. Here's what.
And that was by design, because we talk about playing the long game quite a bit on this show. That's the long game.
Right.
Eric doesn't want to just give it away, 1 or 2 week thing and it's like a little fizzle. He wants to light the match that's going to set off this explosion, and mission accomplished. I mean, it was, even watching it in hindsight the way I did, I could appreciate this is kind of huge now, because this is not something you normally see.
Right. Here's what, me growing up in the South, obviously I grew up right in the heart of WCW. I know for a fact, a lot of my friends, this was the point where WWE or WWF stopped being watched, period. I probably had a good 4 or 5 month period. Longer than that. I probably didn't get back into didn't get back into WWF until the SummerSlam before the screw job. So probably about a year, somewhere around there. I missed King of the Ring. I was not watching it live for the birth of Austin 316. I was WCW at that point because, at that point, the NWO was a hell of a lot cooler than Austin 316. And it got a hell of a lot more traction. So that it's still crazy to go back and realize this happened 25 years ago. And look where the business has evolved. Because of this, one guy became a billionaire. So, final thoughts on this before we move on to our topical conversation of this weekend's festivities.
Yeah, that's just crazy to think that it's been 25 years for me. I was watching both of them simultaneously. I'd be flipping channels like crazy. I wish I had two TVs in front of me, but I couldn't do it at the time. But I didn't. But it is what it is.
Right.
I'm glad we're here.
Watching wrestling with the guys, like I've always talked about how we had the two different TVs and the splitter and everything else. That happened, but it wasn't until really the onset of the Attitude Era. But the end of the cartoon era and all of the different factions in WWE, like the Nation and Los Boricuas and Disciples of Apocalypse and Heart Foundation and everything else. God, this is stupid. No wonder WCW is kicking the crap out of them. And as a gamer, also, WCW came out with two really badass video games for the N64. WCW versus the World and then Revenge. Both of those games were awesome. So, yeah. We got a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. We have a hell of a pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. It is All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing. This is, and I've been paying attention, but I haven't really been paying attention. But this is a sick card. This thing is huge. So let me ask you a question, gentlemen. What match are you most looking forward to out this entire card? Brian.
I'm going back and forth between two of them. I've got the card pulled up here on Wikipedia, and I am going to not go with the obvious answers because obviously I'm looking forward to seeing Pac and Orange Cassidy and Kenny Omega tangle in a triple threat. And obviously I'm looking forward to Hangman and Page and Brian Cage because I'm interested to see what Brian Cage can do by himself in a match without shenanigans, even though I know there's probably going to be shenanigans because it's Team Taz. But the one that's got my attention is the Young Bucks versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Because let's put it this way. Eddie Kingston are not all of these third tier, fourth tier tag teams the Bucks have been feasting on Dynamite the last 2 months.
Right.
Moxley and Kingston stole the Bucks' shoes, which was awesome.
Yes.
Took the fight to them, and they are not going to back down. This is going to be a wonderful match because you got the contrasting styles that we love in tag team wrestling. Even though the Bucks are toning down the high flying stuff with their heel turn,
right?
You're still going to get some of that from them, but you're going to get the ground and pound of Moxley and Kingston. The risk they don't have to take. And then I'm also looking forward to Britt Baker and Hikaru Rashida because I think we're finally going to.
I told you one because now you're stealing my crap, dude.
Sorry. It's hard to pick just one with this card. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Brian's over here like, yeah, I'm really
Sorry,
looking
last week.
Yeah, that's Isaac's gimmick from last week.
I'm really looking forward to the Bucks and Moxley and Kingston, and I'm also looking forward to Sting and Darby and Ethan Page, and I'm looking forward to Stadium Stampede, and I'm looking forward to Dante Martin defending the TNT title against Lance Archer because he's going to beat Miro on tonight.
And then I'm going to name all the guys in the Battle Royal.
Exactly. We'll get into the Battle Royal a little bit. Isaac, besides the Casino Battle Royal and Britt Baker versus Rashida, what match are you most looking forward to?
Mine's a little different.
All right.
Mine's different in the aspect of I'm looking for the American Dream to show up, not the American Nightmare. Yes, I don't care what you think. It's not about you. This is about me.
Yeah, and you know what? Hey. Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain.
Let him answer the question.
I will let you get yours in, but I got something to say about that BS when you're done.
So clean up your spittle there and your throw up and let Isaac actually answer the question. Then you can have your
Get your napkin ready so you can do this. You can do that later. Have your napkin. Yeah. Be ready. But like, as much as I love, as much as I love Dusty Rhodes, and I do, and just the moniker, the only two people, obviously, that can use that moniker and do it would be, obviously, his two sons. And he's actually not going to call himself, he's not calling himself the Nightmare. He's calling himself the Dream. For once a year. I mean, that's something interesting, something different. I want to see if that brings something out of him, if that changes him a little, if he's going to do something a little special. I don't know. And if that's the case, that he should be doing that with someone that's a little bit more high profile. But I just want to see how it works out. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see something different. Now, here's your napkin. Go ahead, throw up, and go.
Okay. Yeah. First off, this idea of Cody Rhodes for one night only being the American Dream does in fact make me want to throw up in my mouth, because I have made no secret on this show of being critical of Cody Rhodes in AEW because he is nepotism at its best. Because only Cody Rhodes in AEW would do something this, I can't even call it grandiose, it's more like grandstanding. And I find it to be really, really annoying. What I find even more annoying is the fact that Father Mucker, this is 2021. Why do we have to have a USA versus some other damn country angle? By the way, outside of America, 95% of this freaking world hates us. And you want to be the freaking good guy as the American Dream just because the other guy's a British guy who used to box. We can't go with the fact that Anthony Ogogo has a hell of a physique and a hell of a look and a hell of a boxing pedigree. We can't go with that. Oh, God bless America. No, we have to go with the fact that he's a damn dirty foreigner. It's 2021, damn it. This, I'm about to say a phrase I have never used on this show. Oh my God, and it makes perfect sense. This is the most Memphis thing I have ever seen. It's Memphis. It's stupid. It's pandering for the sake of pandering, not because it's actually going to make freaking sense. It's, hey, we don't have anything else. We can't have Anthony Ogogo just beat the living hell out of people, we have to make him a foreigner. Oh, by the way, we did have him beat the hell out of a bunch of people, both the Billy Gunn's kids and a couple of other scrubs, but we didn't let go of the fact that he's a foreigner. Oh, by the way, did you also know that Cody Rhodes can't challenge for the world title? And did you also know that Britt Baker's a freaking dentist? Things.
You got the breaking news graphic ready to go across the bottom of the screen, don't you?
Oh, hey, God rest his soul. But hey, Alex Trebek, I would like things that AEW can't let go of for 1,000, please. Your answer is a daily double. This is the dumbest shit. This is, you know what this is? This is WWE the night after the freaking Transformer blew. This, Scott Hall showed up on the other damn show, and we're doing this. Really? We're doing
Okay.
this.
All right, Patrick, real talk. Who's the mystery entrant in the Battle Royal going to be? Because I feel like we let you, you'll just keep beating that dead horse until there's nothing left but a vapor trail.
Well, before we get to that, I'm looking forward to Baker and Shida. Oh my God, that's going to be good. Britt Baker has become an absolute gangster. I love her. I love to hate her. It's, she is a great heel, and she didn't need to lose the title. It makes perfect sense that tonight on this Friday Night Dynamite, because they got preempted because of the NBA playoffs and stuff, that they're doing this 1-year celebration. It makes perfect sense because it sets up her losing the title. And then you know what it sets up? Brit and Thunder Rosa. Shut up and take my money. Who do I think?
I see you, Rosa.
Yeah, we see you, homegirl. We love us some Thunder Rosa. Hashtag friend of show. Yes. Who do I think the last guy in the Casino Battle Royal is? I have an answer. Andrade El Idolo.
That would be awesome.
That would be, because he has that match. He has a match scheduled in AAA with Kenny. And this just furthers that angle. I will also tell you who I hope to bloody hell it's not. Please, wrestling gods, don't let it be Bryan Danielson. I don't want him in AEW.
Where do you want him?
NXT.
Okay.
I don't want him in AEW because I am not convinced that they're not going to, that AEW at this point isn't going to take every name they can and sacrifice it to Kenny. Until I'm convinced of that, until I'm convinced that they're actually going to say, hey, we want to make Kenny a legitimate badass champ, not just hand him every freaking title like it's a participation trophy, then I don't want to see any huge high-profile talent. CM Punk could make the announcement that he's coming back, even though I'm not a huge CM Punk fan. And I would pray to God that he goes to New Japan and not AEW, because guess what? He would job to Kenny on the first night, because that's what they're doing. I mean, it's everything in the world of AEW is revolving around the names Cody and Kenny. That's it. So,
well, let me ask you this. Is this Battle Royal set up for Christian Cage to win it?
No.
When you look at all the people in this, Cage, Saito, Hobbs, Penta, Jungle Boy, Matt Hardy, Private Party, The Blade, Evil Uno, Colt Cabana, 10, Griff Garrison, Pillman, the Acclaimed, QT Marshall, Nick Comoroto, Dustin Rhodes, Lee Johnson, and blank. You look at that lineup, it screams the Joker's going to win. It screams that whoever that Joker is, and keep in mind, they have had a tendency to have whoever that surprise entrant is, whether it be the Casino Battle Royal or the Casino Ladder Match or whatever else, that Joker usually has won. Hangman won the very first Casino Battle Royal. The Casino Ladder Match was Brian Cage. And
Andrade, the more that I think about Andrade, the more I think it makes some sense.
I would love it. I would love it. And I hope it happens because Andrade is one of the most misused pieces of talent WWE ever had. And I'm talking in history. Andrade is amazing. I mean, my thought, and this is what I always thought about Andrade. How can someone that good in the ring and that good looking not be just pushed to the front of the line? Like, hey, not only is he a great worker, not only is he a great bad guy, but look at this dude. What, another reason to hate him. He's Mexican. He has that Latin suaveness to him.
He's got the it factor.
Yes, he has that it factor. And he also has that it factor that gets the ladies' attention. And yeah, he's also a good looking dude. Like every guy, he's one of those dudes where every male wrestling fan should hate him because we're not him. I love the guy, and I hope it is him. Who do you guys think is the Joker? Anybody else besides Andrade?
Doesn't seem like it's anyone else but him. I don't see anyone else taking that position. I mean, good luck to anyone that does, but I don't see them bringing in anybody else like that right now.
Right.
That great of an impact on AEW.
There are other names. I just hope it's not them. I hope, there's been talk that could be CM Punk. There is talk that it could be Bryan Danielson. Nobody else that was in that first string of releases right after Mania, they haven't completed their 90-day no compete. So it can't be Joe.
Oh my God! If Joe would,
show up.
Yeah.
Could you just imagine?
Yes, I can.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yes, I can. So, one last quick topic before we settle some unfinished business from last week, gentlemen. Gotta give credit to Nurse Rant Mode On for this one. Mrs. Rant Mode On had a hell of a question that she asked me over dinner tonight. You guys so eloquently put and talked about WWE's announcement last week that they are going back on the road. And they're going back on the road with Money in the Bank. And that makes perfect sense why Money in the Bank is not Thursday this year. I got to be honest. I was kind of disappointed when I found out that they were flipping that. I'm like, Hell in a Cell? That's what I always liked Money in the Bank because Money in the Bank was on Father's Day. That was just a cool deal. But now it makes perfect sense why. Nope, we want this sumbitch in front of a crowd. Screw you. And for that, I say thank you. Because that also means we're not going to get the climbing the corporate ladder bull crap like we did last year. God. Anyway, so AEW, as they're going on the road, AEW has never run a house show except for that one that they build that they had in Jacksonville not too long ago that they called the House Always Win. WWE has had a long history of running live events, as they call them, not only for Raw, but for SmackDown and for NXT. Brian and I should know, we've been there. So my wife asked a very interesting question because she thinks this is going to backfire. Her question is, how long do you think it's going to take for WWE to realize that not doing house shows is biting them on the ass and they go back on the road?
I was about to approach this from a financial angle, and then I realized, I'm an idiot, this is a multi-billion-dollar company. They can certainly afford to do even a scaled back house show circuit if they really wanted to.
Right.
I mean, I like to look at it in terms of pros and cons. There's obviously a lot more pros, in my mind anyway, of doing house shows than cons. Usually house shows are cheaper to attend, number one.
Yes.
And it's a way for talent to get reps in the ring.
And also more money.
Yes, it's also a way for talent to earn money because you get money every time you're in front of a crowd. It's an appearance fee. You've got a whole crop of performance center folks, and you've got a whole crop of developmental folks who've been deprived of the opportunity to get that rep, that ring rust, that muscle memory, that all that kind of stuff. And also, you wonder how much the product's going to suffer because of it. It's easy for somebody like Randy Orton to just fall out of bed and have a decent match with somebody. But somebody like this, pardon me?
What about someone like Aaliyah in NXT?
Right. Somebody like, Xia Li, or somebody like, I dare say, even the Street Profits. I mean, they haven't been around that long, and it would be nice if, and people have told stories all the time about the kind of chemistry that's developed. I mean, Bayley and Sasha Banks have talked at length about their time doing house shows and how it was a time for them to work things out story angle wise. Let's try this tonight and see if it works. Okay, that went over well. Maybe we should put it on a match that we have on Raw. Okay, that didn't work out so well. Let's not do that in the pay-per-view match we have coming up. So those are the positives, and I guess the negatives, why you wouldn't want to do it. It decreases your liability. It improves the bottom line. And maybe they just figure, hey, we need time to breathe. Because I can't imagine what it must be like to be a production person, packing up the truck, going to the next town, undoing it. It just gets to be this endless cycle. Maybe from the mental health aspect of things, you're just trying to give people some room to breathe every once in a while.
Well, let me play devil's advocate on this two different ways. Number one, let's talk NXT. NXT, if they're not doing their traveling house show, even if they stay in Florida, then those people that we don't see on TV every week don't get reps, don't get better, don't get exposure from being in front of a live crowd. Also,
Simone Johnson, for example, how's she going to get her reps?
Exactly. No, she's going to do it in the Performance Center with no crowd. And yeah, that's going to get over extremely well. By the way, house shows are actually what helped her dad with one of the most important things in his entire arsenal, because he got bored one night and thought it would be a fun rib to spinebuster Triple H in the middle of the ring, take his elbow pad off, and do this elongated, dramatic, stupid-ass elbow.
Hey, you watch how you're talking.
No, hey.
I'm kidding.
And then as Triple H is laying there taking it, he went, that got over. Oh, crap. He's going to start using this, isn't he?
I forgot all about that.
And here's another, and now let's go to quickly the fan perspective of this. Okay, we are fortunate We live in Northeast Ohio. We live near Cleveland. You know, worst case scenario for the three of us, where I would be the worst case scenario. I'm the farthest away from downtown. I can make it to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in 30, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. You guys less. We don't have to worry about it because WWE will always come to Cleveland because it's, number one, big market. Number two, known for being a hell of a wrestling fan base. We ain't Chicago, but we're pretty damn good. Let's talk about where I grew up. Oxford, Alabama, halfway in between Birmingham and Atlanta. First off, WWE doesn't go to Atlanta very often because that's always been a WCW town, and WWE, even after WCW went out of business, never performed well in Atlanta. WWE doesn't perform for shit in Birmingham. I reference WWE Armageddon, the Armageddon with the Hell in the Cell, that pay-per-view. I was there. It didn't sell out. It was the only pay-per-view that year that did not sell out. And oh, by the way, Legacy Arena in Birmingham is only about 8,000 people. So, for someone in my hometown, if you're not doing house shows, if WWE isn't showing up and going to, the old Boutwell Auditorium in Birmingham or some of these smaller venues, they're not coming because they're not they're not going to do Raw or SmackDown from Birmingham very often. Here in Cleveland, we can expect to see WWE at least twice a year, if not more. Isaac.
Let me jump in here real quick. Okay. I agree with everything that you guys have said. You brought it eloquently. And I kept thinking to myself that they're losing a lot of money specifically. But you're saying they need to, they need to jump back in. I still think, myself personally, they've had enough time to get whatever they need to do and get themselves ready to go back out and do that.
I'll be right back. Keep talking.
I keep saying to myself that they've had enough time. We've had a year of them sitting here realizing what they need to do, how they need to approach it, and what they need to do to get the fans in. I still think they need to do house shows. I love house shows. I like to see them up front. Yeah, it's not the same pyro and everything else, and you go home and watch it on TV. I get that. I understand it. We know that's what's going to happen. But at the same time, they work out the kinks. You see some people you haven't seen. You bring up some people and see how the crowd reacts, and you go from there. Does it work? What doesn't? Hey, like you said, Sasha and Bailey worked out the kinks at house shows. This worked. This didn't work. This is what we'll do and incorporate it. Yes, we all know that. And I think that's probably the best thing about house shows. You can't work out the kinks. You don't know who's gonna get over in the crowd. I still think, even though we don't know officially what's happening with Keith Lee, that, he gets in front of a live crowd, you're gonna be like, oh my God, this guy's amazing.
My gut feeling tells me they will resume some kind of a house show circuit at some point. They have to walk that fine line between public health and their own personal goals and stuff like that. Maybe they don't do it as much as they did pre-COVID.
Right.
But my guess is they resume some kind of a house show circuit, especially with NXT, because that's where you really need it. I think. If you're going to say, Does SmackDown and Raw need it more? Or does NXT need it more? The obvious answer is NXT needs it more.
Hello?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll be right back, fellas. Hold on.
Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and stall since Isaac's got to take a phone call, and that is all good. What do you want to talk about? Because honestly, at this point, we need Isaac to be able to continue on with the show as to what we were actually going to do. Because we were supposed to do some trivia last week, and I
will actually ask you 2 of the fill in the blank questions that you missed out on last week, because I'd love to hear your take on them.
All right, hit me, because I did not actually catch these when I was editing the show, so I missed them. Awesome.
Oh boy. What old school wrestler would you have loved to witness in their prime? Now, I'm sure you've seen a lot more than I have, which is why, for me, I said New Japan era Shinsuke Nakamura. And Isaac was centered around Ric Flair, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, those kind of guys. You may be even going back further than that.
Andre.
Oh, I could only imagine what that would have been like.
Yeah, if I could go back, old school wrestler to see in his prime, I would say Andre.
The sheer power of him. I mean, just, whatever territory he rolled into, everybody was like, my God, how does anybody beat this guy?
Right, because I remember during the invasion angle, me and some friends of mine went to a Monday Night Raw. We had front row seats right there, like the corner of the barricade, and Big Show came down to the ring. And Big Show walked right past me, and I came up to the guy's hip, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like, holy shit. And Andre was considerably bigger than Paul White. So that would, just for the sheer, I'm not the biggest dude in the world. So to be able to, see that would have been like, damn. So Andre, what's the other question?
And then the other one that I want to get your take on is, what stipulation match do you think personally you don't see enough of in this day and age? What stipulation match do you want more of?
I want more of it, but I don't want more of it because not having it all the time makes it that much more freaking awesome. War Games.
Okay.
But to be more accurate, because you can't have War Games all the bloody time. Strap match.
Really?
Strap match.
Okay. Did you happen to catch Isaac's answer to this question from last week?
I did not.
He wants him some barbed wire death matches. I said, well, you can find them.
Oh yeah.
Just hit up the YouTubes, and they're there. Strap in.
Yeah, I would say, like, your leather strap match, your Texas bull rope match, your dog collar match, not so much, because you're tied here as opposed to the wrist. I like it being tied to the wrist more.
Dog collar matches strike me as more dangerous.
I agree.
Because your freedom of motion is constricted a lot more, I think.
Exactly. So that's what I would go with. I'd like to take my answer back.
Wow. Okay.
Punjabi prison. Nope.
Wait, hold on. So thank you and good night. We're done with that bullshit. We're done.
All right.
The main event, Hell in a Cell, Punjabi prison match, Simon Dean versus Dolph Ziggler. Book it, Vince.
God. Kennel from Hell match.
Yeah.
Guys, give me one more second. My cats are being assholes.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Sorry about that.
Stalling episode of Wrestling with Egos.
Nope. Hey, blame Jenny and Batman. They're being dumb shits.
Well,
they're both hissing.
I guess we need a Kennel from Hell match with those two then.
Yeah, hissing at each other. And hey, it's gonna be a triple threat match between Jenny, Batman, and the cat that's outside.
Oh God.
Which is not my cat. Anyway,
he doesn't work here.
He don't work here.
He's not even on our roster.
Exactly. So, in my absence last week, we had to postpone a number one contenders match for the Wrestling with Egos Trivia Championship, currently held by me. I will moderate. So tonight, I don't have a microphone, so I'm just going to use the remote. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 questions, and it is to determine the number one contendership for the Trivia Championship. Just like Brian did 2 weeks ago, it's a kind of a name that tune kind of deal where both these two cats will go back and forth giving answers to these multi-answer questions. When someone gets one wrong, the other person has the opportunity to steal the question. Best 2 out of 3 wins. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it.
This shouldn't be that hard. I mentioned my favorite gimmick match of all time just a few moments ago. As Mr. Regal would say, War Games. WCW era only. Pay-per-view only. The house shows and the Great American Bash Tour, none of that counts. Name War Games participants.
I would love to.
I am thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Isaac, you are the newest member of the team. You get to pick. Closest without going over.
Okay. I'm going to go with my birthday, which is coming up, the number 7.
All right, Brian.
4.
It was 4. Brian, you have the option to go first or go second.
I'm going first.
All righty. I have them. Let me grab my my laptop. I don't have them as in as neat of a list as Brian does. Brian clearly did. So you'll just have to humor me as I mark people off my lists. So Brian, you're up.
All right, we're going to start off with Tully Blanchard.
And Tully Blanchard is a participant. He was a participant in the first one. Isaac.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes, who probably started.
Actually, Daddy, I never competed in a War Games match. Those things are too brutal for me, Daddy.
Bullshit.
Oh, get the fuck out of here with that crap.
Father Mucker, he started the
first that shit.
He was the first man in the first War Games. Isaac. Oh no, sorry. Action to Brian.
Ronnie Garvin.
Hang on. No. No. Ronnie Garvin was not in a War Games. Isaac.
I'm going to dispute that one.
Okay. Go ahead and dispute it. He was in a War Games. It was not televised. It was a part of that Great American Bash Tour. It was a house show. I remember seeing it as I was compiling all the info.
Is this to me?
Action to you.
Either one of the Road Warriors, Hawk or Animal.
There you go. Brian, you could have said
Anyone
I
for
know there's a
Horse?
lot of people I could have said,
no,
but you know,
Brian, you could have said Jimmy Garvin, and you would have gotten one. But Hands of Stone, Ron Garvin was never in a televised War Games match.
all right, fine, moving on.
All right. I have a
I honestly thought you were going to go through each member of the Horsemen because Iron, Tully, Rick, JJ,
Barry,
Barry, Sting.
Ungo.
That's what I thought you would have said. But whatever. Next.
I'm hoping that we don't run out of answers on this one. This might come back to bite me on the ass. Actually, you know what? No, we're not going to do it because that one might come back to bite me on the ass. I'll save that one in case of emergency break glass. So, Brian, I had to steal one of your ideas. 2 weeks ago, Brian asked Isaac and I to go back and forth on people that took a title off of John Cena. Which I don't know if you remember. I was right about Heath Slater. So, anyway, we are talking only non-Crockett promotion things. So NWA, WCW, WWE. No Mid-Atlantic or anything like that. People that took a title off of Ric Flair. Brian, you are trailing? First or second?
I'll go second.
All right, Isaac. People
All right.
title off of Ric Flair. Let me give you a little bit to maybe help both of you guys out. We are looking at NWA World Tag Team, United States, the NWA and WCW World Heavyweight Championships, the WWF title, titles like that. So like Mid-Atlantic don't count. It has to be national. Tag, secondary, and world. So there you go. Isaac, give me someone that took a title off of the Nature Boy.
Sting!
Abso-freaking-lutely. First time he did it was July 7th, 1990 in Baltimore, Maryland at the Great American Bash when Sting won his first NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Because I'm a Stinger. Brian.
Ricky Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat, good God, yes. Ricky Steamboat. Actually, on multiple occasions, multiple titles. Also took the, you guys obviously would know that he took the world title from him, but he also took in 1977, took the NWA US title off of Flair. Isaac.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Yes, he did. He lost the World Heavyweight Championship to the Dream on July 26th of 1986. Brian. throwing you a little bit of a reminder because I'm gonna have to call for an answer soon. Remember, anything nationally recognized, NWA, WCW, WWF.
Do I go with what I think is an obvious one, or do I try and remember?
Well, at this point, I need an answer. So,
when he won the Rumble in '91 and won the championship, I feel like he dropped the belt to Bret Hart on his way out.
he did drop the title to Bret Hart, but I'll just leave it at that until another answer is given. So yes, he did drop the WWF Championship to Bret Hart as he left to go back to WCW. Isaac.
Lex Luger.
No. He never dropped a world or a belt at all to Luger. Brian, for the win. Well, to even the match.
I really hope this is right. I'm gonna go with what I think is a safe answer because I feel like he was tag champs at some point in WCW with one or the other of the Horsemen, and I feel like they were going at it hardcore with the Road Warriors.
He was a tag champion, but he did not lose a title to the Road Warriors.
He's a Pete.
Isaac, you're back in. Now we now go to sudden death.
I want to say Big Van Vader.
No. He took a title off of Vader. Vader didn't take one off of Flair.
Wow. Okay.
Brian.
Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
I made that way harder than it needed to be.
Yes, you did. And obviously I'll accept Hollywood Hogan or Hulk Hogan, either one. Because I'm looking at it and actually getting technical, which obviously I'm not going to read. You did even that one. When Hogan beat Flair, Hogan was red and yellow because it was right after he came to WCW. When that happened, the answer I didn't want to give because Brian, you kind of got info backwards. Yeah, Bret beat him in Saskatoon before Flair left. But when Flair won the title at the Rumble, he dropped the title at Mania to Macho.
Oh man! Damn it! I knew that.
And he dropped a shitload of titles to Macho Man. Let me just run off some names of some like holy crap.
Was Wyndham on there?
Huh?
Wyndham?
Wyndham is not.
Okay, glad I didn't say it then.
Yeah. Okay. First off, his tag title reigns, he lost to Gene and Ole Anderson.
Wow.
In May 8th, 1977, Flair and Greg Valentine lost the titles to the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Flair also lost his fourth U.S. title to Valentine in 1980. lost the U.S. title to Piper in January of 81. By the way, he lost the World Heavyweight title twice to Harley Race. Lost it to Kerry Von Erich. Brian, you're going to kill yourself for this when he lost the title to Ronnie Garvin.
Oh,
I totally forgot that. Oh my God, I watched that 60-minute match too. Son of a bitch, you're on TV.
Lost the world title to the Giant, DDP, Jeff Jarrett.
Ain't not great.
Yep. WWE World Tag Team titles. Him and Batista lost them to Rob Van Dam and Booker T, and lost to Benoit and Edge. And also him and Piper lost the WWE Tag Team titles to Rated RKO.
I knew he was tag champs with Batista. I just couldn't remember who they were feuding with most of the time.
If the roles would have been reversed, I would have said the Spirit Squad. Because that's what honestly around that time. It was around Flair lost his only Intercontinental title to Shelton Benjamin.
Okay.
Trying to see if there's anything else I missed. He lost titles to Savage 3 different times.
Savage and him had great chemistry.
Yes, they did. Savage had great chemistry with just about anybody.
Yes.
Yep. Of all the people he's lost titles to, Savage was the most, followed by Harley Race, and there was another one that I saw that happened multiple times.
Well, you said Steamboat, right?
Yes, Steamboat was the other one. Sting only took one off of him. So this is going to be a long one. I'm regretting this so bad. Okay, let me ask you a question.
So,
for the sake of time, either help me narrow this more, or we move to the other topic that I have, the in case of emergency break glass one.
in case of emergency break glass, because
I don't know how you're going to narrow it.
We're going to sit here and say this person
I
was
still
in.
had 19 more names written down.
Right. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have about 20, 25, 30 possible answers for this one. I am looking for the names of bands or musicians whose music became someone's entrance theme. I will give you one as a freebie. Yes, on my list, John Cena counts.
Okay, I see you on that. I see you.
So that one should give you a couple, some other ideas as to other people that could be on the list. Being vague about that one. It would now, as a caveat, the band or musician has to be someone that's actually had music published, not just because I can sing and like With My Baby Tonight is not on the list. All right. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and eliminate him just so there's no confusion. Elias was on my list. R-Truth was on my list. Cena was on my list. Those are all out of the way now.
Okay.
So bands that did someone else's music, and it had to be something that's long-standing, not just, I did it for one night. Like Ice-T doing Godfathers at that WrestleMania don't count because that was one night.
And Salt and Pepper doing it, What a Man does not count.
Nope.
Okay, gotcha.
So, Brian, do you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
All right. Isaac, we're going back to you since, you lost the second one.
Limp Bizkit. Rolling for The Undertaker.
Just got to find him.
That's cool. Take
Yeah.
your time.
Yeah, go. Brian.
Motorhead.
Yep.
Kid Rock.
Nice. Yes.
Joan Jett.
I forgot all about that one, but yeah. Isaac.
Run DMC.
Nice. Yes. The Kings.
Thank you.
Real quick. Isaac already mentioned Kid Rock. How many different people did Kid Rock provide entrance music for? Let me make it. Let me narrow it down for you. Who was the second person? Not the Undertaker.
The second person was Jesus Christ.
No.
Yeah, I know. Funny.
Let's just go ahead and move on. It was Stacy Keibler. Kid Rock's Legs by ZZ Top. Brian, action to you.
Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
Rob Zombie.
Yes.
Rev Theory.
Yes.
I can't think of anything.
I'm gonna give you a few more seconds before I got to call for an answer.
I don't know. I'm just gonna be honest. I can't think of anything.
All right. I have to call for an answer, or you have to tap out. All right, Brian, for the win.
I'm going to go with the safe one because I feel like you might have an argument about the other one. I'm going to go safe and say Alter Bridge.
Yes. What was your other one?
The other one, Todd Keith, Real American, was actually a published song, and it became Hulkster's.
I didn't have Todd Keith. I would have given you credit. It was Rick Derringer that did it.
Right.
Okay.
But I would have given you credit for that one.
Because as I recall, there was some nebulous history about whose song it really was and, all that kind of stuff.
Rick Derringer has always gotten credit for Real American, so that's what I would have went with, but I would have given you credit for that. But yes, Alter Bridge, definitely. Here are the ones that you missed, and Isaac, you're going to hate yourself on a
lot of them because I should know them.
Yes. So I'll get some ones that won't hurt as bad out of the way first. Silk the Shocker did MVP's music. I'm coming.
Really?
Yeah.
That's who that was?
Yeah. Insane Clown Posse did the Oddities music from back in the mid-90s. Finger 11 did Kane's music. Breaking Point did RVD's. Brand New Sin did Big Show's. Boy Hits Car did Lita's. Downstate did The Miz, Zack Ryder, and Cody's current music. Story of the Year did Christian. And now here's the part that Isaac's going to get pissed about. Killswitch Engage did CM Punk. So did Living
Living Color.
Saliva did Batista's music. 3-6 Mafia, Mark Henry's. POD, Rey Mysterio's.
All right.
I also had 2 more on there that I wouldn't have expected you to get. Metallica actually gave the license to Seek and Destroy for Sting toward the end of the WCW run. And
I was going to say them, but I remember because I remember they did a pay-per-view theme, but I knew you wouldn't accept that.
No, but I
I
would
couldn't
have
remember if they did other stuff.
did Seek and Destroy.
But Metallica was supposed to do the Undertaker's in that last match for Whom the Bell Tolls.
Right.
That's what they were supposed to do.
Right. And really out of left field from the early 80s, the Alan Parsons Project, because Ricky Steamboat's entrance in the NWA was serious.
I was trying to think about WCW people and I couldn't.
More known as the music that plays in the background as you hear, and now your starting lineup for your Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Guard from North Carolina.
With that, because you know how much I hate Jordan, especially how he doused my Cavaliers, because we should have at least 3 titles.
Oh,
Thanks, jerk.
You know how he pissed all over Craig Elo?
I took that personally.
Yeah, but I took that.
On that.
I took it personal how he beat the shit out of my Sonics, but whatever, dude. All right. So now we get to it.
Congratulations to both of you guys for burying me. I hope that I put up somewhat of a fight. Good luck to both of you.
Oh, brother, that was a fight because, I mean, I said I had 19 more names written down for the Royal Rumble question, but I was even starting to reach after a while because I was checking off names as fast as I was writing them, and I was starting to rack my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I was going to have to come up with some novelty people, and I was going to ask, like, do women's Royal Rumbles count too?
No.
Okay, because that would have given me a whole nother, and then we'd still be here for the 3 hours if we were doing women's Royal Rumbles.
Exactly. By the way, you mentioned 2 of the women that competed in men's Royal Rumbles. Who was the third?
No, we mentioned all 3 because Isaac said Nia near the end.
I'm sorry, there was 4. Yeah, I forgot about Nia. Yeah, it was Beth, China, Nia, and a 4th.
Karma.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yes. God damn, I totally forgot about her.
She showed Michael Cole to the back.
Right. And Ziggler.
Yes.
And yeah, she eliminated Ziggler as well. So
I just keep remembering Beth Phoenix kissing the great Khali and then pulling his ass out.
That was hilarious. You know what's the funny thing? When we were doing the Rumble, you guys didn't mention that many winners.
That was going to be
Dolph Ziggler.
Ziggler never won a Royal Rumble.
Huh?
Ziggler never won a Royal Rumble.
No.
He won Money in the Bank and cashed in to become champion that one time, but he never won a Royal Rumble.
Del Rio didn't win a Rumble.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
That was the 40th one. He did win that. I do know that. I'm sorry about that. But
no Daniel Bryan.
He was written down. I just never had to pull him out of my pocket.
No Drew. No Edge.
I said Edge.
Okay, I don't remember. It's been, dude. That was 7 hours ago.
Hey, you're the one that went with the category.
I know.
Moderator, sir.
Get that one. Next time I will narrow that shit down.
Did we mention Chris Benoit?
We did not.
I had him written down.
We did not mention Benoit.
The names that I didn't say.
But he counted though. This is a question. You should have counted.
He was.
Here's who I had written down and didn't say: Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Big E, Benoit, Ric Flair, Great Khali, Stardust, Randy Orton, Farouk, The Godfather, and Crash Holly.
Yep. Here's the thing.
So I was prepared to go deeper if I needed to.
Oh yeah, and you know what? Literally, you rattled off that, and I still have, and I, of all the names you rattled off, the ones you rattled off led me to think of another one that you didn't mention.
Yeah.
Members of the New Day. Where the hell's Woods?
I was trying to remember if he competed in one.
He did.
All three. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woods, at the very least, Woods was in it this year.
Yes.
Let me ask us a question. Would you have counted Mick Foley as Cactus Jack? As okay, that's just the question I'm asking.
I kept forgetting to write them down, and I'm like, I'm probably not going to go there unless I absolutely have to.
When I was prepared for when somebody answered that, I was going to address it right then and there and say, okay, like, and any of all four names would have counted as the one person. Like if you would have said Mick Foley, I'm like, okay, that takes care of Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mankind.
Okay. I was just thinking
Mascaras.
Yeah, Mascaras was in there. Yeah.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get out. Stop talking about the Royal
The Goon.
So, Isaac.
So
you're gonna have to come up with some topics in the very near future. So you have to be the commissioner on this one, which means you need to schedule this championship match.
okay, gentlemen, here's the deal. When do you feel like doing it? Do you want to do it next week? Do you want to take a rest, get yourself prepped, and then we can go in 2 weeks? Somebody feels like he's ready right now, like he's getting ready to, like he's going to a rap battle right now.
The champ is always ready.
Okay.
The number one contender is ready too. You name the time and the place, and I will do my level best.
If he's ready, the champ's always ready. So you know what? The champ will name the time and the place. Same Wrestling with Eagles time. Same Wrestling with Eagles channel. You got 7 days to prepare for your ass whooping, boy.
Next week, gentlemen, it is the countdown begins. I will have 4 categories for you. 4. I'll have 4 categories for you. I'll be ready. I like they always say, bring it on. Yeah, I'll be ready. Don't sing it. Y'all ready? I got
any quick words in your very brief promo time for you, Mr. Krigo, and your efforts to challenge our trivia champion?
While I am basking in the afterglow of my successful victory this evening, I am aware of the challenge that lies ahead. The Reverend of the Rand is not to be underestimated. I know that I have to bring my A game, and it will be brought. Because after I am done, you will know that this number one contender brought everything he had to this fight. And a fight it will be.
May I respond?
the floor is yours.
I can quote so many great philosophers at this point in terms of my worthy opponent for next week. John Cena once said, "Son, you ain't got the club in the bag. Austin Aries once said, "You're not on my level." But I think it was one CM Punk that said it best when he said that your arms aren't long enough to box with God. You will try just like everyone else, and you will fall because there's only one Patrick Swafford. Damn, I love cutting promos.
What's that aphorism? Pride goeth before a fall. All right. See you next week.
Yeah.
Champ.
I love you, man. This is gonna be fun. You know what? I gotta be honest. I kind of hope I hold on to this just long enough to get RJ. Hey! I got an idea. Let's keep this low key, and maybe RJ won't find out about this. How about we just work this to where you do the job, and we set RJ up? I'm kidding. No, I want you to bring it.
He just said, do the job. He came in my face and said, do the job. Is that what just happened?
Whoa. Hey, I don't need you to do the job.
I'm acutely aware. No jobs will be done.
Yeah. You don't need to do the job. I'll lay you out myself.
So you don't need Vince McMahon?
Run up, get done up.
We're not gonna have the Stooges show up. You know, Pat's not gonna show up. Briscoe's not gonna show up.
Mr. Commissioner, I'm a one-man revolution. Emphasis on one man. I'm not a three-man band. I'm not a one-man army. I'm a one-man revolution. I am a lean, mean, wrestle-talking, ass-kicking machine.
Gimmick infringement.
My show. Only I could take an intense promo and end it with just 6-year-old immaturity.
Yeah.
And it worked. You know what? John Cena couldn't do that. John Cena couldn't have an intense promo and then end it with neener, and it makes sense, but I can. You know why? Because like I said, there's only one Patrick Swafford.
Thank the Lord for that.
Only one Patrick Swafford. All right.
You're singing yourself out?
Damn right.
You're singing yourself out. My God.
Damn right. Hey, speaking of that, cue the music. Let's get out of here. Hey, new music in the background. Bonus points to someone that can. We had it last week. Bonus points to someone who can tell me where this song comes from. If you watched the video from last week, you'll know what that song was.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't had a chance to identify it yet.
Yep. I don't know why I wanted to put it there, but it was better than the little bums that we had. I like this one better. Anyway, until next week, when Brian is brought up to the sacrificial altar that is my show. Isaac. For the big man, for the number one contender man, I'm the champ. This is good wrestling with egos. This is why I love hanging out with these guys, and this is why we love wrestling.
Exactly.